Today, what I want to talk about is coaching rec ball basketball. So at the moment, I'm coaching my son's rec ball team. They're fourth and fifth grade. Um, so it's Division Two in Ventura Youth Basketball Association. So I've coached basketball for a long period of time. I coached at the high school level. Spent a little bit of time at Pepperdine. So I have a pretty extensive background in terms of coaching. And the one takeaway that I have so far, and this applies to me, and I think also it could be beneficial for coaches. Um, so there's a lot of zone being played, and this is not about the argument of whether you should play a 2-3 zone or not. I mean, I think rec ball we have limited amount of time to work with the kids, and so you do what you think is best, and that's cool. If you want to play man, you want to play zone, you got to do what you got to do. It's not travel ball, so and we don't have that many games. But the one advice I would give, and this is something I'm working on, especially against the zone, is teaching them how to catch and pass fake against the zone. The one thing that is consistently happening with my players is they catch the ball, and first thing they do is they put the ball down on the deck and their heads go down, and so they're dribbling. With the zone, sometimes you have a blitzing, you have a 2-3 zone that's blitzing, and so now you have a guys that are rushing the guy with the ball, and that creates a bit of fear. And so the first thing that they're going to do is run away. How do you run away in basketball? You got to dribble the ball. So that's going to force players to put the ball on the floor and put their head down. There's also the other issue of not knowing what to do once you have the ball. So even if you're not being rushed by the defender and you have space because the zone's giving you space, you don't know what to do. And the first thing you do is you dribble the ball. And so what I'm trying to work on, and I think this is something that, if you're coaching rec ball, you should probably spend some time, is teaching them how to catch the ball, teaching them how to come to the ball and catching the ball with ball feet in the air. So the idea of ball in the air, feet in the air. And then once they catch the ball is using, a rip through move that's aggressive and using pass fakes. And what that does is it focuses players to get their heads up instead of getting their heads down, to see the floor, to see what's open. Because what's opening in the zone is players in the gap. So if you could put players into that gap where they can pass it, and now you have an advantage, or even a 3-on-2 or a 2-on-1 in a limited space, that is more beneficial. But what's happening with my kids, and something I'm working on, is they just they get the ball and his head down, and they want to dribble and they want to dribble and they want to dribble. And a lot of that's also probably influenced by the NBA. So if they're watching NBA basketball, basketball at the professional level is very dependent on the dribble, is very heavy-handed on the dribble. And I think that is not beneficial at, fourth and fifth grade, or even third grade. I think, obviously players want to work on their handle, but you don't want to be dependent on the handle at such a young age. As you get older, you want to do that, but right now you want to learn how to pass. You want to learn how to use pass fakes. You want to learn how to cut. You want to learn how to play without the ball. And I think that that's the appropriate time. And it's something that's also just anybody can do. Like, you don't have to be the best ball handler to play basketball. Just pass the ball, cut, and see if you get it. And so, as you're facing zones, and just pay attention to what your kids are doing when they catch it. Are they putting the head down? Are they putting the ball down on the deck? Are they seeing the floor? And I think that's the one thing I want to focus on for the rest of the games that I have and practices, just making sure that players are becoming more confident in terms of just seeing what's happening and not having that head go down, having that head up and seeing what's taking place, where the defense is moving, what's open, who's open, trying to create more passing opportunities. Even to a certain extent, forcing the team to make X amount of passes before they take a shot. That's something that we did at the high school level when offenses were becoming too stagnant, or we were just taking a quick shot. In practice, it'd be like 6 passes before you can shoot the ball, and it forces ball movement, and it forces you to do things you normally don't do. So, if you're watching this and you made it this far and you're coaching rec ball, especially in Ventura, just pay attention to what your kids are doing in terms of when they catch the ball. And do you want them to just, the first thing they do is put the ball on the floor? Or do you want them to see the floor and pass? And if that's the case, then, emphasize that a little bit more. Like I said, that's something I'm going to try to do with my kids. And again, it doesn't mean it's going to be successful. It takes a while for them for that to happen, but you want to just be constant about the language that you're using, catching it, ripping it, past fake, catching it, ripping it, past fake, just simple sentences to convey that message is helpful. Another thing you can do is catching shoelaces, right? So they rip the ball low by their shoelaces, and then they, got to look up once they get the ball to the other side. So again, you want to teach aggression in terms of going and get the ball instead of just being timid and waiting for the ball to come to them, and then ripping the ball through so it doesn't get stolen. And then once that happens, having their head up and then deciding if they want to then dribble or if they want to pass. So just some food for thought. I'll try to do more of these as my rec ball season takes place and comes to a close. I'll let you know what I think. Follow, like, comment. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message, and I'll get back to you as best as I can. Thank you.